In this video, we're going to show you how to properly replace and adjust a clutch cable on a 1997 Harley Touring model all the way through 2013 model years. Hey everybody, I'm Robert with Hill Country Custom Cycles. We've got this bike here we're doing an ape hanger installation on, and I wanted to do a quick video to show you how to properly install and adjust a clutch cable, because we get lots of questions at the shop about this procedure, and it's really simple to do if you know what you're doing, and a heck of a lot easier to explain on a video than over the phone. So follow us along, we'll show you how it's done. Alright, first thing you want to do, very important step, you want to check and make sure the length of your clutch cable is correct. Very common, we get a phone call that my cable is the wrong length, or this or that, or whatever the issue may be. And most people haven't checked the length of their cable first. So you want to just, unwrap it, route it where it's supposed to go, make sure that it's long enough to accommodate the handlebars you're putting on. For whatever reason it's wrong or it's not the right length, give us a call, we'll swap it out for you, no problem at all. However, it cannot be installed. If it's installed, we can't exchange it, and that's going to be the same with any cable company that's out there. So do your diligence, check your cable length first. If everything's good, go to the next step. We need to get this side cover off here, but as you can see, the exhaust is in the way. One of the most difficult parts of this job that people run into is removing the exhaust. Well look, you don't have to do that. You don't have to remove it at all. All we need to do is get this exhaust pulled far enough away from the side cover so that we can get these bolts out and slide this thing out. So what I've been doing for years, I'll take and loosen up the exhaust at the heads right here. Don't take the bolts all the way out, just loosen them up, rear and front. You usually have some kind of a bolt down here by the transmission and sometimes by the saddlebag, but in this case we didn't. We just loosened all that up. And look, I can move my exhaust about 1.5 inches. And I don't have to take the floorboard off, the floorboard bracket, the O2 sensors, fool with all those bolts. I don't have to do none of that stuff. All I did was loosen it up, took me about 5 minutes. I can pull this thing out of here. I can access these bolts here. I can pull the cover off, do my clutch cable, and everything's still intact. Now I've got enough room to get my Allen wrench in here. I've got 6 bolts on this particular bike. There's 4 or 5 on others, but it's all the same principle, and once you get it off, they all look the same inside. But you want to get your bottom bolts out first, then get these 2 side ones off, and then your top ones last. And then we'll just break this gasket loose and slide that cover and bring it on out. Make sure not to lose the 3 ball bearings. And you take them out. it's easier to turn it like this. The clutch cable, where it comes through the threaded part right there, it's pretty thin just by design. You got to be real careful not to cross thread these things. You should be able to spin this thing on by hand all the way till it touches the O-ring. It shouldn't catch or do anything like that. It's very common that people break these because A, they over tighten them, or B, they cross thread them. I personally have never cross threaded one or broken one off, so it tells me that they get cross threaded commonly. So you just want to make sure that it spins on there nice and free, and if it doesn't, you know, check your thread, see what's going on, check it out. And once you get it bottomed out in there, you're going to take a wrench and tighten it to 3 foot-pounds. That's right, 3. It's not much at all. Just barely snug. You got an O-ring that's really doing the sealing job. You just want to just put a little bit of tighten on it, just so it stays nice and snug. Don't put the monkey wrench on there. That's how they break. Just nice and snug, and then we can put all of our guts or our internal components back in there. This lines up right here. This falls in place. Put your balls in there. And take this piece here, like that. Stick it on there. Turn it over. We're going to take this, just like that. Make sure all your balls are in place. Got that? Push that down there. Take our little snap ring. And we're going to put our snap ring in place. Just like that. Alright, so we've got everything in place. Pretty simple to do, you know what I mean? If those balls fall on the ground, just pick them up, put them back in there. You know, clean them off first, obviously. This is what does all the work in your clutch, this little ball and ramp assembly. You know, the clutch cable, when you pull the clutch in, this cable goes that way and it moves this piece out. You can see it coming out. What commonly happens is someone will get this thing way over here and then put it on the transmission, and then they can't adjust their clutch out because it's too far. It's past where those ball and ramps are. It's up on the flat spot. They put it together and they have no clutch, and obviously there's a problem. So when you put them back on, make sure that it's rotated all the way to the back, or make sure that the clutch handle part of it is pushed all the way in before you tighten the transmission bolts down. Make sure it properly seats on dowel pins. I'm going to get all 6 bolts just barely snug, and then go back and tighten them evenly. We're going to route our cable. Most people don't do this when they change a clutch cable, but the reason I'm showing you this is because sometimes you need to. You can run out of adjustment on your cable on this adjuster here, and your lever's still loose, which usually means that this is out of adjustment. But earlier I showed you the little ball and the arm thing on the clutch cable, and the picture shows that thing moving in and out. When you pull the clutch, it moves in and out. Well, when it does, it pushes on a push rod that comes all the way over here to this little bolt and nut. And by screwing this in and out, determines where that push rod hits it, and it gives you clutch adjustment. So you want to loosen that up. That's an 11/16, and you want to take this and just turn it in by hand so it won't turn in by hand anymore. That's it. It doesn't take much. Just turn it in by hand. You don't have to get it super crazy tight, just till it's right there. Then go back and tighten it up with your wrench, hold it with your Allen, and snug it down. If you do have a little impact or something, I like to put just a little extra little hit on it right there to make sure. If not, you can still get the job done with these. Adjust it to where, just to where you barely have all the slack out. One of the things that I didn't cover, just for the sake of time, lubing your cables. It's something you want to do every now and then. Throttle, clutch, you know, get something down there where it's just not dry all the time. We use the Bel-Ray 6-in-1 and this little contraption that comes in our install kits, but basically your cable slides up through here, comes out over here, tighten these little screws down, and that seals the cable to the block. And then you put that on your can and just spray it in there. Very easy to do, very inexpensive, but it's something that cables need every now and then. Otherwise they bind up, and that's when you start having breaking problems. Other than that, make sure your clutch is tight. Nice and smooth operation. You're done. Clutch Cables 101 right there. Thanks for watching.